Hello, people. Welcome to fucking hell.
Hey, and we're back, and it's been I don't know how long. Wait, how far do you put these? Do you put like once a week, 2 times a week?
Well, I haven't recorded an episode since the last time because I kept forgetting.
Hold on, when's the last time? Let me look it up real quick.
Good question. Go on Spotify because I have it on Spotify now.
I am going to Spotify.
Okay, he's checking. While he's checking, I
5th of August.
Oh my gosh, I haven't put out the other one yet either because I have to.
They don't know that. Maybe it did come out. Maybe it didn't. We haven't.
Yeah, we don't know.
We'll never know. Even though we're the ones that's doing it.
Okay. Anyway, today's episode is.
Today's episode. Who killed who?
Who killed who? Dude, we need to play Clue one of these days.
Play Clue.
Clue. I don't know if you.
I love Clue. Board game. The board game Clue.
I used to play that game so much as a kid. Okay, let's see here. So this one might be a little boring or it might be fun. Just depends on how we interpret this, I guess.
That is true. That is true. True that.
But I figured it would be really interesting to see this because for today's episode, we're pretty much going to be.
Hey guys, do you like books?
Yeah.
I don't. But in high school, when I was in high school, and I was something about high school and everything else, just school in general, we all read books.
Same here.
There's a certain grade where everyone has to read the same book.
Yeah, like a certain books with your teacher in class, and you had to do a bunch of work for it.
Gosh, yeah.
It was annoying. In fact, high school was when my anxiety was really bad. So a lot of the time, I didn't even read out loud to the class when I was supposed to. And we used to have this like little. Sophomore is either junior or senior year actually.
I'm the lucky one.
Man. We had this like little we called it a circle seminar, and it was like we're on desks, like all the desks. I can't say that.
Wait, is it still recording?
Yeah. It goes kind of off there.
Okay.
And then it'll compress down afterwards.
Alright.
But it'll like so a desk, all the desks would be in like a circle, and there'd be an inner circle too. So one big one and an inner one.
Right.
And then we would grade each other's like little prompts on the book that we had just finished reading in the class, right? And then we would have to go around the circle after we passed everything back and talked about our perspectives and like what we thought and if we had questions or we were confused.
In my class, we didn't actually do that. We actually just listened to an audio, like someone else reading it on like YouTube, and we just follow along. When I mean we, I mean like 3 kids, and the rest of us would just fell asleep. I was one of the kids that fell asleep, and yeah, I still a pretty good job on. Kids, listen to this. Don't fall asleep while in class or reading. Don't fall asleep in any class. Take my advice. Even though I did pass and I actually graduated.
Somehow I passed and I was the like head bobble in class. I'd fall asleep. I'd start falling asleep and wake up and start falling asleep and wake up because I'd stay up all night.
Oh, they just know I fell asleep. They know my head is down. They know. It's like at some point they just gave it up. You're like. If he's getting his work done, there's nothing to complain
about. Dude, this one time in 8th grade, and I don't know why I didn't take this opportunity, because, like, I don't know. So my history class, I always fell asleep, right? For most of the class. My teacher one day was like, you know what, guys? Today for class, because he had, like, 30, 40-minute classes.
Did you instantly go to your phone?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So we had a nap day. She literally let the entire class sleep the entire time, and then she would wake us all up at the end of it. She told me it was because of me too, because I always fell asleep in class, and I was the only person who didn't do it.
Why?
I don't know.
They'd be like, oh, this is an opportunity to look at my phone. I'm guessing you thought of that, didn't you?
No, I don't know why. I can't remember actually why I didn't. Maybe it's because I wasn't tired for once that day. But like, and she was like, at the end of the class, she was like, I did this for you so you could catch up on sleep. Are you? Why?
I'm asking that same question
I am
right
too.
now.
I'm asking the same to my little self too. So I don't
At that
know.
opportunity, I will take a nap, and I will be out. And usually for me to fall asleep, it'll take me like 5 minutes max.
You did fall asleep pretty quickly when we were on our trip, honestly, because you go into the room, and then not come out for like a couple hours. I'm like, oh, he fell asleep quick. Okay.
Yeah, it does not take long for me to fall asleep. Like at some point, like I do like get up and like wake up and do stuff, but like as soon as I lay on the bed
You're
and the
out like
TV
a
and the
light.
TV's off, I'm like,
Dude, I have to fall asleep with some kind of sound because I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I can't fall asleep in silence. It just there's some weird factor in there that's like
I could do both, but I prefer silence.
I don't know. I'm just weird. I'm just weird. So like I sleep with an earbud in my ear and then I'll wake up in the morning and then find out if I can't find it and then I'll find it and put it back. But
I just came to a realization that your volume is actually not so high this time.
I fixed it.
Did you use that little thing right there to fix it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Cause yeah, I always so guys my headphones have a little volume dial on it and I always forget. Okay, so let's think. So the way this is gonna work, guys, with the books, is we have a bunch of books that like we would be forced to read in school. So one of these was something that was honestly just one of my teacher's choices. Like literally no other class read it. But I'm curious to see if you've read it or if you're even interested in it. But the other ones we have all wedding classes mostly. I didn't read some of these actually, but this should be interesting. I also don't remember half of what goes on in these books, so
You're not the only one. I probably won't remember.
I remember little bits and pieces because there's only one I've gone back to since then, and that was it. So
There's only one that I remember fully because it just traumatized me.
and I think yeah, there are other ones in here as well that I don't have on the list in front of me. That I'll bring up. But
We could just like later on if like after we're done with the list, we could just bring up ones that we probably have or have not.
Yeah. So okay, and we're gonna do this out of 5. So we're ranking it out of 5, and we're gonna talk about why we hate these, or why we like them. 1 being good, 5. Well, actually no, 5 being good, 1 just being absolutely terrible and would literally barf if you saw it again. Are you good? Oh, that's funny. Well,
I'm very confused of how that worked.
good thing this is Blade. It was Blade. Oh well, I can fix it later. I painted it myself, but I can fix it later.
Can you like get that one?
There you go. Okay, so let's begin now. So you can understand that though, right?
Yeah.
1 being barf level, 5 being okay, I would own as an audiobook level. Or physical copy level.
You literally switched that last time you said. You said last time you said 1 being the good one and 5.
Yeah.
Then you just switched like 1 being bad.
Yeah, I figured that might be a little bit easier for me to comprehend because with my little peanut brain. So, okay, this first one is Endo's Game. I don't think your school did this, but I know my English teacher did this in like freshman year, and it was actually a really good book.
Ender's Game. I think like a few kids talked about it, but like
it was a super good book. I personally liked it. I would read it again. I don't own it anymore, but I would read this one again, and we read like the sequel to it too, because there's an entire like series on this.
Isn't there like a movie about it?
Yeah, there's a movie, and there's a movie on the first book.
I need to see like what.
And then the sequel, and then there's like a bunch of other like it's an entire like. I guess you could say it's like a chronicle. I don't know. It's a series of books essentially. They're really good.
It looks like an outer space thing.
It is. Also, the person who plays Endo in the movie.
He looks familiar.
Dude, he's one of the he's a huge actor. I can't remember what his name is. He is one of the biggest actors right now, though. To this day.
Is that him?
No. Wait, let me show me.
He's the Ender Wing?
Yeah, Asa Butterfield, yeah. So I guess he's searching this up because...
Ooh, the boy in the striped pajamas. I've been wanting to... Hugo! That's where he seemed familiar. I've seen Hugo.
Dude.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but this book's really good. It's pretty much about, a kid, and then I guess in this world, if you like... Crap. It's kind of like, it's very way much, it's like in the future, kinda like 2000 something.
So we're talking about like we're talking about like a combination of, there's a movie that Will Smith and his son played in. I forgot the name of that movie.
Ender's Game.
So, like the Star Wars mixed in with Star Trek. I shouldn't say that. A lot of people will get pissed at me for saying something like that.
So, guys, we're going to... I'm going to read this. I'm going to read the Google thing just so we can kind of figure out what kind of it's about. 'Cause I remember this, but I'm not the greatest at explaining it. Okay. Ender's Game is a 1985 military science fiction novel by American author Orson Scott Card, set in an unspecified date on Earth's future. The novel presents an impaled... what's that word? Impaled?
Don't ask me. I barely passed English.
I don't need to. Yeah, kinda. I mean, I passed it, but not the greatest. Humankind, after two conflicts with insectoid alien species, they dub them buggers. So, from pretty much, you have to. So apparently, the buggers are trying to invade Earth. It is revealed why at the very end of the book why they tried to even invade Earth in the first place.
Okay, so listen up, people. If you want to hear some spoilers, go for it. Listen to this. This girl does not care about if it's being spoiled or not. I'm not sure about you guys. There might be a lot of spoilers about what happens at the end of the book. Just a heads up, if you guys want to look, we're just gonna tell parts of it.
Yeah, this is so. I'm actually not going to do spoilers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big surprise because for a long time you have.
I love spoilers, guys. Something about me. I love them. I don't give a shit about them. You can spoil an entire movie or video game ending, and I'd be like, oh my god, now I want to play it even more. Like, I like spoilers.
For me, it depends if I'm ever gonna watch it or not. Because there's some that I probably won't watch at all, but I'm curious about the ending, or just. I will watch it at some point. It just might take years for me to get to that point.
Yeah, so... But yeah, that's about it. I am gonna say that the buggers is like a little... It does say it's an alien species. The end of the book does reveal why. And... No, why? They tried to, invade us. I do like the reason why, I will say. But, like, I don't know. I would say this one's a good one. 5 out of 5 for me.
5 out of 5?
Yeah, 5 out of 5. I really like it. I like this book. based on, because I know you have read this, based on just, have you seen the movie?
Ender's Game?
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
The only thing I've seen bits of is that the main character getting bullied a lot.
Yeah, the main character gets bullied a lot. That one's not so much a spoiler. Throughout pretty much the entire book, he gets bullied essentially, but it's not like, it does stop, I think I want to say, towards the end of the book. So it's, in one way or another, he's either getting bullied by his peers or by like the captains and the adults around him. But it's it's not bad though. It's there for a reason. That he gets bullied. So pretty good, I'd say. And the ending's also really awesome. It's my favorite ending to a book I honestly that I have ever like read, and especially for the movie. Oh my gosh, amazing. So based on, I haven't said much, but based on what I've always said and what this Google says about it, what do you think about this book? Would you say it's a 1 or a 5?
From what I've heard, from your like words and your action and the excitement.
Yeah, guys, I was excited to talk about this one. It was a first on the list for a reason.
I'll give it a 3.
A 3?
I don't know much about it for me to give it a full 5. And I need to little bit more about it to even get it a 4, but like for now I'll just give it a 3 as an average.
So the movie, I will tell you if you do ever watch it, is very similar to the book. There are some things.
I was about to ask, like, there are some movies that like.
Yeah, there are some things in the movie, that, like, there are some things that are missed in the movie that happen in the book. So there's a few things here and there. They also try to like, romanticize the movie more than it actually is in the book. Classic movies.
Which reminds me, it's probably not on the list right now actually, but I thought of one book. And that book is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that is a good one actually, dude. That's a good one.
Technically, in my school, we started off with the Hobbits. We never. Actually, did we read? No, I changed my mind. We did read Lord of the Rings, except for, I think it was a shortened down version or just the first book. It's so long, actually, and there's so many details about it, but it's actually pretty good. And I gotta say, the movie along with people, listen up. At this point, I think we're also just comparing the movies along with the book.
Yeah, I feel like if you have to understand if you want to understand like the movie, you have to at least have some kind of insight on the book, or if you want to understand the book, you have to have some kind of insight on the movie at this point.
Or if there's a movie about this book, we'll talk about it too.
Yeah, if it's not, then there's not. A majority of these on here, there are movies for it, and even just plays out there for it.
Yeah.
So, we'll more likely than not be talking about that kind of stuff, but
the Lord of the it's very interesting. I'm trying to remember a lot because even though I actually fell asleep a lot in English for like not listening to the Lord of the Rings, I did get bits and pieces of it, and from what I'm understanding, it was actually more detailed than the movie, which made it very slow and somewhat boring, actually. There are some good parts to it with the action and stuff, but like it just seemed too much detail to make it a little bit more exciting. The movie made it more exciting than the actual book. There is an extended version of Lord of the Rings, actually, which takes days to finish.
Dude, so I never read the books. I watched the first Lord of the Rings movie because apparently there's more than one.
There is more than one.
And I completely forgot about what happens in it. I just know I apparently can make the Gollum voice in it somewhat. I don't know how
So
much
we
I
got
can do
Frodo,
it. Frodo.
which has the ring. It's all about this one ring.
Is Frodo the main character?
Yes, Frodo's the main character.
What's the weird humanoid thing that tries to take the ring from him?
Gollum.
That's what I'm thinking.
So
yeah.
wait, so technically he has two names. Gollum was his second name. He still had a first name, which was I don't remember. Except for he was just like a normal hobbit at first.
What? So you're telling me Frodo could have turned into that?
Yes.
How? Is it the ring or was it
through sheer greedy about the ring? Like that person.
Is this like is this the 7 sins now? Okay.
There are 7 rings actually.
So the ring, I want to say, is for greed then. If it made him greedy.
No, it just has an overwhelming power that just.
Oh, like I said, guys, I don't remember some of this stuff, and it's been years. Like I'm talking over 10 years since I've seen anything related to Lord of the Rings.
I have a shortened version of Lord of the Rings. Maybe if you want to like borrow it just to like get a refreshment of what it's about. It's much shorter than the actual like extended version. Much shorter, which is about like 3 hours still, 3 hours. It's long,
Jesus.
but like it's shorter than the extended version. So,
dude, I remember the movie taking forever to watch when I was a kid, like that first movie, and I fell asleep so half of it, and then I woke up towards the end, like I'm not kidding, on the last scene of it, before it goes to credits, and I'm like, that was good, yeah, and then I went back to sleep.
Oh, it's a good movie. You know another movie that came out? It's The Hobbits, actually.
Oh.
I have never seen The Hobbits nor read the book.
Same here.
Which supposedly is supposed to be the first thing before Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so The Hobbit, I think, because it's supposed to it takes place before Lord of the Rings, then Lord of the Rings happens, and then the other stuff.
Yeah, because
I kind of
got the guy's name, but he became the guardian of Frodo Baggin, from what I've heard in the book.
Yeah, I think they did. So I'm thinking, they did the same thing that they kind of did with Star Wars, like you know how it starts out with Luke, but then
okay, if I'm gonna be truly honest, I don't watch a lot of Star Wars.
I know a little bit of Star Wars, but only because I know my boyfriend is obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So basically, what Star Wars kind of starts out is, it starts out with like Luke and then Darth Vader and stuff like that. However, Darth Vader was a Jedi at one point, so he like so the sequels. This isn't a spoil, it's really.
No, it's not that. I had to give you some information. Actually, I heard this in Distractable. Apparently, Darth Vader never said, "Luke, I am your father." Darth Vader never said that. He just says Luke.
No, he says, "I'm your father."
No, he does not.
He does.
That's what a lot of people think. Apparently, he says something else.
I don't know. I'm on the side of he said, "I'm your father."
I listened to Distractable, and apparently, Way did say, like, talk about, like, what Darth Vader said, and he didn't say that. I think he said something about father, but he said Luke.
Like, Luke, I know your father.
I don't know exactly, but apparently that's not exactly what he said. That's what we interpreted, but that's not what he said.
Okay, well, probably just says Luke, but basically, the sequels to this, like, not the sequels that are being made now with, like, Rey and whatever the kid's name is. But the sequels to the Star Wars thing, it goes to it ends up be like what actually take place like just like 2 or 3 sequels. They all take place
before
before the first movies that came out.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's following Anakin as a Jedi and slowly gearing towards Darth Vader.
That is actually very interesting.
Hence why he knows how to use the Force. Because the Sith know how to use the Force, which is another fun species in there.
Yes.
But there's good Force and there's the bad Force. He was learned the bad Force by the Sith when he turned into Darth Vader.
He learned the good Force.
So Jedi's no good Force. Sith, no bad Force.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So then
did he kill a bunch of kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
he does, yeah.
I think that's terrible. I don't remember the reason why, but like that is terrible.
That's the same movie he turns into Darth Vader too, I'm pretty sure actually.
Maybe.
Yeah. So for those who guys, and this isn't since this movie isn't out, it has been out for years. I don't think it counts as a spoiler. The reason why he becomes Darth Vader is because I'm pretty sure he finds out Padme gets hurt or something like that. And like because him and Padme against the Jedi's orders get married and end up having kids, and he knew she was like pregnant, but she doesn't actually. But the thing is, I don't know what happens to her. Something happens to her. He gets like super upset and is like, no, because the reason why he did join the dark side is to start learning dark magic or dark. I'm gonna call it dark magic so I don't confuse myself. Yeah.
Dark magic. We're in the D&D world now.
But yeah, dark force or dark magic, whatever you guys want to call it. Like the dark side of it, is to help save Padme and his future children. Or child, I guess, because he isn't. We obviously don't know until they're born. So yeah. And then he finds that out, gets upset, and then gets burned a lot. So now he has to live in that suit. There's a reason why he's in that suit, guys. It's because without it, he would die. Literally. It's the only thing keeping him alive.
Yes and no, actually. From what I understand, the only thing that got burned off was his legs and his arm.
No, his face was terribly burnt too. Cause yeah, his legs and his arm.
Didn't they get cut off actually? His legs and his arm? Didn't they get cut off?
Yeah, and then the other ones got burnt so badly he can't use them.
Oh.
And then his face was pretty bad too, because keep in mind, he was also just laying there.
If you guys are a bit confused, we're talking about where he's at. Actually, he's actually next to a lava pit. So like,
and he gets burned super badly. So, in other words, it is so painful for him to breathe. So, he could theoretically breathe without the suit, but it would be so painful to do so. That suit helps a lot. It's really it's interesting. Anyway,
I cannot imagine what that will feel like. Like, just like having everything burned, your lungs are in pain.
Yeah. I can't imagine how bad his lungs were like messed up. Because lava does a lot of shit to you. There are people who have been in lava accidents. It hurts to breathe for them a lot of the time now because it messes with you.
Yeah, there's just. I feel bad for them.
Right? Okay, so I think you got carried away. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this next one is The Crucible.
The what?
The Crucible.
I don't know anything about it. I've never even heard of it.
It's based on the Salem witch trials.
Salem witch trials, eh?
Yeah. So I actually have a little thing right here
Please.
for you to
Give me
read.
Okay.
So, The Crucible is a dark and chilling place studying the events leading up to the 1692 Salem witch trials. Based on true people and events, the story revolves around the accused and the accusing and their fates.
That which
But it is a lot of it's off act.
So it's just like basically a true story in that book.
And yeah, but in I guess in the form of like a play, or I read it as like an actual like story kind of deal, but because they have little stories on it too. But it is a play though that you can watch because there are some theaters that do it as a play, but it's like pretty good. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead right now and just rate mine like a 4.
I'm going to rate The Lord of the Rings. I'm just gonna rate it to like a 4.
A 4.
Yeah. The book is a 4. The movie's 4 too.
Based on what you told me, I'm gonna rate it
a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 3.
That's understandable.
And then we might as well rate Star Wars as well while we're at, because we talked for like about it for 20 minutes.
I don't know much about it, but from the bits I've seen, I actually somewhat do enjoy it. So I'll give it a 4.
A 4.
A 4 is a pretty good solid.
I'm gonna say the same, a 4, because like I'm kind of confused on some of Anakin's actions. So I'm confused on some bits and parts of it still to this day. So I'm saying it's a 4 until I figure that out. But yeah. And then for the Crucible, it's really cool though. So there is a movie on this actually, guys, and it is 3 hours long.
Usually movies are like 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah, this is a 3-hour long movie. And well, a 3-hour? No, I think it's like a. No, the book is 3 hours long. The movie, I think, is maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's pretty short.
Yeah.
Book is understandable if it takes 3 hours.
Yeah, I was thinking the movie for a moment. It's not, but it's really good though. So here's another thing that another, I guess, explanation of it. The Crucible is a 1953 play by American playwright Arthur Miller, who was dramatized and it is dramatized and partially fictionalized story of the Salem witch trials that took place in the Massachusetts. Guys, I can't say words like this because my speech impediment, so I can pretend like I said that.
I'm not even gonna try to correct her because mine is also as bad as hers.
Yeah. So. Bay Colony during 1692 to 1693.
Come here, kitty.
Because, yeah, guys, keep in mind, the Salem witch trials lasted literally 1 year. I mean, arguably, it lasted longer than that, and there was still, like times here and there where they're like, oh my god, are we sure she's not a witch? But, for the most part, a lot of the deaths and the executions were done within a 1 year frame, maybe less. Which was basically, it was essentially mass hysteria. A lot of people hate to admit that, but it was mass hysteria. Because witches, I'm sure, did exist in that time frame, in that area, but I don't think it, like, everyone was. Dude, they lost half of their female population.
I know, like, they lose, like, a lot of females like that. Like,
it was only females, too. There were a couple males, but it was mostly females.
So, if males did do something, do they still call them witches, or do they call them wizards?
They call them witches. Because, keep in mind, they, at this point, like, with, like, our language barrier, or our language, was very, it's very spread out, but it was also we had certain words that can mean multiple things. So it was kind of just a one and go word for them, witch.
Right. Okay. Now I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were some people who even said there were even some accounts that apparently like said that like the witches were the curse of the devil and that the whole colony of itself was being cursed by God himself.
Jeez.
Which I think, again, the mass hysteria aspect of it.
Oh shit.
But the Crucible, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care much about the story. The ranking I'm gonna give it is more based on the events that happened, that it was inspired by. Cause I don't know about you guys, I love reading anything about the Salem witch trials. I think I'm like I could read.
Wait, aren't you witch yourself? No.
No, my
No, my fiance is though.
yeah, I dabbled in it a couple of times here and there before I met Tyson. It wasn't for me because I got confused a lot and I had to do it behind my mom's back because she's a Catholic.
And that makes sense. I was like, what?
Well, she's kind of half Catholic, half LDS. I don't know what she would be. She kind of went back and forth with it a lot, but yeah.
Alrighty.
So yeah. But either way, I think I'm gonna rate mine a 5.
I'm gonna give mine a 2.
A 2.
A 2.
A 2. Okay, I need to hear your reasoning on this.
So
one, actually. Hold up. Okay.
It's a somewhat close to a true-based story. I don't like those kinds of stories. It makes me more sad because I know there's like facts about it that it's like true. That makes me sad. Like, wow, these people are terrible. Also, I've been talking to like people and I've dated like 2 girls that are witches, and it makes me feel kind of bad. So, and like the book doesn't seem so interesting to me that I would read it in general.
Oh, yeah, so there are some boring parts in it, but it gets really good at one point. So, one of the accusations is a bunch of girls were dancing in the forest naked around like a
So they're streakers then.
File, and the thing with that is the reason why they thought it was witchcraft is because supposedly they were putting like I can't remember what animals, but like dead bloody animals in the pit of fire. So sacrifices.
Well, we could just make food out of that too, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And it was in the middle of the forest something, and they were dancing in a circle and chanting supposedly.
It does seem unusual. I'll give them that. It does seem very unusual.
And even then, this is a very a very like religious setting as well when you think about it. So Zum being naked in public in general is just very outlandish for these kind of people.
Right.
So even if it was just that and they were just standing in the middle of the forest naked, they'd be like, "Oh my god, a witch."
Yeah, no, that seems yeah.
Yeah, it's not like today where you see someone naked and you just ignore them because you don't want to make a huge scene. But
for me, I just stand there dumbfounded. I'll be like,
so I went to New York.
I'll try not to like look at it too much, but my eyes just couldn't like look away. I'm like,
guys, I went to New York one time.
It's a naked person.
Oh
right there.
my gosh! We were crossing the street one time, like we were on our way back to the hotel. There was this lady. It was like a sign. Everything is covered by the sign, but she was naked behind that sign.
Okay, so give me an age gap of how old this lady was.
I don't know. From far away, she looked like 40, but the closer I got, she looked like maybe 60, 70.
That's
sad. And I did a quick glance behind me to make sure she wasn't wearing to make sure she was actually wearing something. And I saw her butt, and I'm like, nope.
It's a butt-ass naked woman. It's an old lady.
Yeah. And the sign said and the sign said performing for free.
I don't like that. That's
Yeah.
very disturbing. Like, even in Las Vegas, that's even like.
But this is New York.
I
and
know.
Like Times Square.
Yeah, this is New York. I don't like it in New York. If it was Las Vegas, that's like a different
And this
story.
is Times Square. Like, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because there's gonna be people there, but still, like,
yeah.
I don't understand. But yeah,
You
basically.
want some because this is almost out.
Thank you.
Yep.
But yeah, basically, that was a thing. So yeah, I gave it a 5. You gave it a 2.
Yep.
Okay, the next book on our list is Animal Farm.
That sounds familiar, actually.
This one I know every school in Idaho is required to read.
Animal Farm. What was that about?
Communist animals. That's the simplest what I can give you. Communist animals.
I don't.
Okay, here you go. Animal Farm is a beast fable and in the form of satirical allegorical novella. Which, guys, there's a difference between novels and novellas. I don't know the difference.
I don't know it either.
But there is a difference. By George Orwell. First published in England, blah blah blah. Okay, it tells a story of a group of farm animals who rebel against the human farmer, hoping to create a society where the animals can be equal, free, and happy. That's not really what happened. It starts out as that, and it falls apart towards the end.
Talk about vegans then.
So, basically, guys, it starts out as that, falls apart towards the end. I'm not going to tell you the ending of it because I don't remember it, but it's good. It's good? Kinda. I mean, it's basically communist animals, essentially. But this book was also written in 1945, so you really can't blame the writer on that. At this time, communism was still somewhat circulating around, so
right.
We can't blame the author for that. But yeah, it starts out really good and then slowly turns into communism, and it's a political book essentially. Because one of the animals in this book, so there's one main leader that they decided on, the communism, and then but then there was, and they had a couple other, and then they decided we need more people on deck to help us run this farm because they're only animals. And mind you, these animals learn how to read and write. Yeah. And they write out their own list of laws. They start rationing food throughout the winter, and even into the next year in the summer, the rations are still becoming smaller and smaller until some of the other animals are like, we don't like this, because they basically ran the farmer who was taking care of them out of the house. So the house is still running. There's still power. They can still watch television somehow, and yet, and they are still, mind you, the way they are making money and stuff to run everything and buy products is they are still growing corn, they're still growing wheat, they're still having chickens lay eggs, they're still selling everything and stuff like that.
Interesting.
It's basically a society, a tiny little society on a little farm. It's kind of a cute story at first, and then it turns into like a lot more. It goes from a little bit political to a lot political. Yeah. Um. So like these animals even make um like a little building out of, or make something out of a bunch of stones, like heavy stones.
Buff animals right there.
Yeah, and that's on rations. So they're not even getting the nutrients, they're still doing that. And it's really interesting. It's an interesting book. It does teach you a lot about politics, funny enough. A good introduction to politics. Um I'm personally going to give it a 2.2 because some of these animals are like, well, maybe 2.5 because I like some of the animals, others not so much. The stories goes from cute to just straight up, yeah, only communism and political races and debates. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not much into politics, so maybe that's why I'm giving it a 2 or 2.5. But that's mine. There's even a movie on this too. Funny enough.
Mine's a 2. It does not sound interesting to me at all. No, I give it a 1.
You give it a what?
Absolutely does not sound interesting.
You even give, if it doesn't, give it a 0.
Nothing. It's a nothing.
It's a nothing.
It doesn't sound interesting. It sounds completely chaotic. It has politics, which I don't care about, and I don't even want to be a part of. I just want to live my own life, pay my bills, live my own life. There you go. End of story. I don't care what's going on in the outside world. Speaking
of which, guys, don't forget to vote. I recently voted.
I didn't.
This is actually a good segue. I'm not being sponsored to say this, guys, but this book's actually a good segue to say go vote. If you want your country to, be in the hands of good people, possibly, vote. Again, I'm not much into politics, but the only reason I voted is because I actually want to live in a good country and not run away. So,
I don't care. I could live in Mexico if I learned Spanish, and I could just live with my cousins there. And I just go vote. I didn't vote because I didn't feel like it, but that shouldn't stop you guys from voting.
Okay, next book. To Kill a Mockingbird.
That is a good book.
So, I like it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot of the stuff that happens. I know a lot of it's like court stuff, but it's like
it isn't.
I'm think anyway. I don't know. I'm gonna
wait. To Kill a Mockingbird. That's not.
Okay.
To Kill a Mockingbird is about.
I can't remember. I don't remember what it's about. I remember some of what happens in it, but I don't quite remember everything that happens. I do, but I don't. So we're gonna read this. To Kill a Mockingbird, but it's a novel by American author Harper Lee. And in the United States, it is widely read in high schools. Blah blah. Okay, To Kill a Mockingbird is there and about?
It's about a court area, actually.
Yeah. Short summary, here you go. To Kill a Mockingbird is both a young girl's coming-of-age story and a darker drama about the roots and consequences of racism and prejudice, probing how good and evil can coexist in a single community or individual.
I give it a 5, along with the movie, actually.
Yeah, dude, I've read and seen both. I'm giving it
It's sad, yes. It's sad, but it is good though.
I'm giving it a 4.5, mostly just because there are some characters I just cannot stand reading in there. I can't remember what their names are. crap. It's the what you know, like the part where they're in court, and they're like, um,
Are you talking about the daughter of like the one that's being
yeah,
said she's being harassed by the black dude?
yeah.
It's absolutely
I can't
absolutely hate
stand.
her and her dad
I can't
actually.
stand reading anything, any lines, or even watching the parts whistle. Maybe it's just because I'm so mad at this character,
I agree.
but I can't stand these parts. I skip them every single time. So that's why I'm giving it 4.5, just because they make it so hard to like this character, and that's the whole point. But I try to look for something I like in every character when I read or watch something.
I don't. I
But-
read it and I just like if I come to a conclusion at the end of the book, I don't like her.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, don't think anyone does.
She
But-
had no okay, people. You can listen to this part, but like, just so you know, I just absolutely hate her. She had no reason to do a certain thing because of her father. You'll know the reason why when you start reading it, but like, I just
even
hate
in
her.
even in the movie,
That's
even if
right.
you do-
Even in the movie,
dude, the movie is actually, and I don't know about you, it's actually very accurate.
it's
'cause
pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this like I don't think I noticed a single thing missing from the book. Like I think
Did they show the dog in the movie?
I think so. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they did.
I need to rewatch it, but it's a good one.
It is, dude. It's amazing. Let's see here. The next book on this list, I'm gonna let you choose between. Well, actually, okay. We'll
Yeah.
let you choose the next one. The Great Gatsby is right here. We're gonna do real quick, and then the next one I'll let you look at at the rest of these, and I'll let you choose one. So the Great Gatsby, guys. I'm sorry, I have to mention this since we brought this as an episode. Okay. If you guys can tell, I don't know if you can tell by my reaction, I fucking hate this book.
I couldn't tell if you hated it or loved it. It was very hard to tell.
Fucking hate it. It is terrible. I know a lot of you guys are going, so this is a very widely loved book.
Really?
I don't understand why. Everyone in my classes loved it. I have multiple friends who love this book, including coworkers and the movie. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. There's nothing I like about it. And I'm all for a good romance book, you know, a good romantic book. But this one isn't it.
What is this one about? I don't quite know.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Set in a jazz age on Long Island near New York City, the novel depicts first-person narrator Nick Carraway's interactions with a mysterious millionaire, Jake Gatsby, and Gatsby's obsession to reunite with his former lover, Daisy Butchman. Now, that's just a basic intro, and that's pretty much what the entire book's about, essentially. And it is based in 1925. Well, it was I'm pretty sure it was published in 1925, but it is based in the 1920s. So around the era of like a recession and where alcohol is illegal and stuff like that, or getting close to it's illegal.
Okay.
So, but basically, the book is about, and it's in the movie too. Okay. It's about, so Nick Carey moves into this nice house, or to this house in this new city, or on Long Island. And his neighbor is Jay Gatsby, but no one knows who Gatsby is. They've never seen him. He throws these huge parties, though, right? Like the biggest parties in Long Island, apparently, and tons of people come to these parties, but they've never met the guy, but he's there. Nick supposedly is the only one who has met him in this up until the events of this book. Even though Nick actually meets Gatsby in the book for the first time, because he goes to this party because they're being too loud. So he's like, "Hey, it's Gatsby here. I just need to let him know to turn down, to maybe quiet it down because I'm trying to do something or whatever." And he doesn't. Then he meets Gatsby and then learns that the same night somehow becomes friends with him and learns the main character, the former level is Daisy. And Daisy is already married with kids. Or with a kid, I can't remember if it was one or two, but with a kid at least one kid. Her husband cheats on her constantly. She knows about it. At this point, probably doesn't care, but she still acts like she does. And then she decides to cheat on him with Gatsby throughout the book. And then there's also another girl, I can't remember what her name is, but there's also another character. And they at some point in the book, they all get in a huge argument in another hotel room. Because they get a hotel room for some odd reason to drink or whatever. And afterwards, afterwards, they get in a huge argument, and I think there's some kind of race or whatever or something. One thing leads to another. The same night, they kind of die. Most of them. Nick and Daisy and her boyfriend and her husband are the only ones who survive this. It's a lot. Oh, and to kick it all off, Gatsby only lives across from Daisy. He did it on purpose because he's a creepy guy. So can you just guess? Can you see why I kind of hate this book? He seems like a huge stalker who is now finally who finds someone who has connections to her to completely ruin her life, because she was doing just fine for Gatsby, and then suddenly, oh yeah, no. It's a lot. I know, it's a lot. That's the best way I can put this. It is stalker tries to get together with ex-lover who's already married with kids, and random stranger who he meets one night uses him as a connection, and then one thing leads to another. The only ones who are left alive is Nick, Daisy, and her husband, and Nick and Daisy and her husband move away. And that's the end of the book. Oh, and no one comes to Gatsby's funeral but Nick.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so I'm putting it at 0.
Yeah. It's a lot. I hate this book.
Yeah, you sound like you hate it with a passion.
It's terrible. So many people love it. I will say the art style on the book cover is pretty cool, actually. Let me show you. It's this. I love the art style. This is not what I was looking for, but it's fine. I love the art style of it, but I hate
the story.
Yeah, the characters, the story, everything. Also, the fact that Nick just goes along with this. A stranger. He's known for what, one night?
This is a reminder. You can.
Alexa, shut up! She listens to me. So I guess that was Alexa. But yeah, so I give it 0 out of 0.000.
Jeez.
Okay, I'll let you choose though. Which one out of these four are we thinking? Including that one, I guess, but
If we're gonna go ranting about a book that we don't like, I'm going with Lords of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. So guys, this is one I actually don't know about. So I'm gonna let you take
No.
take the lead
So-
on this one.
Lord of the Flies, I absolutely despise it with all my heart. And they're all kids, actually. It's about kids. How they're trapped on the island because of a plane crash. They know there's one person, they nicknamed him Pig. One of the many kindest people in that one. And guess what? I think he dies. If I remember, he does die. A lot of kids die in there because of an instant. We have one leader that just like, I feel like he just goes cannibalism, or not really cannibalism. He goes a bit psycho, and everybody like that goes with him, they tend to go insane. His main character, he tries to do good at the same time. He's like, he knows like what not to do and what to do. Later on, things get out of hand. The person that got, he just like killed like a kid. Then later on, they like start hearing noises, and all of a sudden, like there's been a story about like this dangerous animal that comes out of the water at night and just kills people. And at some point, they're running around in like on a fire, like around a fire, just like screaming, making some noise. And all of a sudden, there's like a noise on the other side in the darkness. This one makes me sad and mad. That kid did absolutely nothing, and what came out was a kid. He was in pain because he like fell down and hurt himself. And a lot of kids, they were already like pumped up about like about the enchantment, like going around like ritual stuff. They heard that and they like charged at him. They had spears and stuff, and when they got to him, they stabbed him, thinking they're stabbing the monster. It made me so sad. I was like,
no!
that is terrible. Not knowing
And the kid did nothing.
the kid did nothing.
Oh.
He in fact was trying to ask for help.
Help! No, we're gonna keep stabbing him.
It was so sad. It made me so sad. Like that is like, I don't even know if we ever finished the story, but like
Oh my god.
that was like, there's so many good kids just dying, and it makes me like so mad of what like just happened. And there's like a movie about it too. It's just oof. And they're all kids too.
Oh! Okay. So guys, I've never actually seen the cover of Lord of the Flies. I'm looking at it on my computer screen right now. Okay. That he looks like he's definitely the leader here already. And okay. Well, that is something.
I think like
I think from what I've heard so far,
I think at the end a plane does fly by over them.
did it save them?
Yeah, because later on, like they figure out kids are missing, and there's like a plane crash.
Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna read the Google interpretation of this and like kind of decide where I'm at on this. Okay. The plot concerns a group of British boys who are stranded on an uninhabited island in their disastrous attempts to govern themselves. Okay. 1954? Oh geez. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm gonna say a 3.5. I'd be interested in reading it, but I don't know if I'd like it. So I'm gonna say a 3. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 3
I'm
on
saying
this
a
one.
0. I despise it so much. They're kids. They kill other kids. It's I hate it.
Well, actually, no, I'm changing mine to 2, actually. I'm changing mine to 2, now I think about it, because reading about kids killing each other doesn't sound fun. No.
It makes me very sad.
So yeah, I'm gonna say 2 on this one, for sure. We're gonna do one more book, guys. I think it should be good.
I'm actually asking my mom about this one book that I really like. It's a bit like on the weird side, but it's really good. I asked her. She seems like she doesn't know, which I don't remember either. But it's a good book.
Let's see here. So I haven't. Okay, so one that I know we both have read, Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, a classic.
I don't even need to search Google on this to know what it is about, guys. We all know what Romeo and Juliet is about, and to be honest, you guys are gonna hate me for this.
It's funny.
You guys are gonna hate me for this. Like a 1?
I'm not gonna hate you.
Maybe a 0.5.
I'm going with like a 5 on a funny side.
The funniest side.
Cause like, okay, after like reading it like for like the 3rd time in like school, I came to a realization how stupid they are. And
Yeah.
I thought that's pretty funny actually.
I realized how stupid they are the first time I read this. Maybe it's just because, your girl's a little special. But, I just thought it was the stupidest thing you could ever do to temporarily poison yourself and just expect the guy that you want to run away with to know that you're gonna run away with him out of just.
Well, there was a
telling
messenger
him.
that was supposed to be there, but apparently he didn't make it to the Pope on time, which the Pope was supposed to give it to Romeo to let him know what happened. He was a friar, not a pope. Thanks for the autocorrection!
My boyfriend autocorrected him, guys. But yeah, either way, I just think it's so stupid because even if the plan would have worked out, she could have at least waited for a little or message back to confirm that he understood what was going on.
It would have been nice just to like communicate better instead of just her expecting him to like.
Oh yeah, and then also on top of that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you though. And the part where he's like, "Well, our cousins here. They don't know that. They got married out of secret. Do you think they're gonna know that they're cousins?"
No, not really. Absolutely not.
Exactly.
That's like the time in like.
Real soon. Guess my link by the way.
Get to know me. You've been through 21 nights.
Did I play Tendian? Like I didn't get that call. Okay, anyway. It was work calling, guys. I don't want to do that at the moment. I'll call them in a minute. Or after this recording. Anyway. I'm 0.5 Romeo and Juliet. They're so stupid. The only reason I'm giving them 0.5, like 0.5, is because I like the characters themselves. They do have like some good story behind them.
Isn't one of them like 18? The other one's like 13.
Yeah, but that's why it's a 0.5 because the characters themselves are good separately. But the fact on how stupid they are to one. Well, also back then you have to remember there's arranged marriages.
That's true.
At like 11 years old. Some kids be 9 years old when they're arranged into marriages.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So it wasn't an uncommon thing. There would be 9-year-olds back then who were arranged into marriages that like to 36-year-old men or something like that. Like it wasn't an uncommon practice. It was normal thing at that point. But uh for how the reason why it's 0.5 though is because like yeah, if the characters were separate and not like romantic together, I'm sure they would have been great buds. But I also like them as separate characters. But maybe like I don't know, because I like how one of them is a sculptor, the other one just doesn't even want to be there at that point.
Yeah,
At
it's
that
like,
in the
nope, I'm
palace,
out.
like they have their side stories, and I love them. But I don't like the rest of the story, so that's that. That's why it's a 0.5. Side stories are great. The rest of the story is kind of shit.
I'm
So
going with 2.5 actually. Yeah.
2 year ago was 2.5.
Yeah. No. It's for me. It does have some life lessons in there once in a while.
Where are the life lessons?
Don't be a fucking moron and start killing like someone that you don't like. Because it was an accidental kill, actually, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't need to kill him, and he did, and then he was on the run.
Yeah, no, just don't fight. Don't
Don't kill people.
don't do fake suicide, and just don't stop.
don't.
Just stop.
Just stop whatever you're
Be
doing.
a rebellious child and actually just go against your parents. Get your money lost, yeah, sure, but hey, you have your own. It's a bit life lessons with a bit of stupidity, also some funny ends too. So it's just
Yeah. So, yeah, mine's 0.5. His is 2.5. I would say, yeah, it's not bad. It's not my favorite.
I've just read it too many times in my life.
I think out of all of the stories we've talked about today, though, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Ender's Game is still my top favorite because it's sci-fi and I love sci-fi shit. So, yeah.
Them Killing Mockingbird is my number one. It's just a great story. Just I don't know. There's something about like at first like I wasn't really into it, but like later on, like as soon as like I started to get more and more, it was starting to get really interesting.
It was, yeah. I don't remember much of did I actually wait to kill a Mockingbird?
I don't think you did.
I didn't care, so I'm gonna wait to kill a Mockingbird really quick. I still don't remember a lot of what happens in it. So I'm gonna say a 4 because I do remember liking it and us reading it in school. So I'm gonna say a 4. So I'm a 4 on that one. So
yeah, it's a good, reasonable one.
Yeah, so mine's Ender's Game, yours is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Are there any honorable mentions on books before we end this podcast that you just want to mention and wait super quick?
If there was just still this one book, I would also give this one book a 5 because it also has a good story. I don't remember the name, but I could just give like a brief of what happened.
Go for it.
We got like a main character, which is a girl. She moved away. She's living in a different area. She made some friends. They all hang out. Then this one friend has another friend that doesn't speak whatsoever. No one knows the reason why. And just later on, they figure out like that this person just seems like it has a terrible life. Then like even more on to the story, this girl I believe is falling for this one boy. Then even further, there's got to a point where this kid ended up in the hospital, and at some point he was talking actually. And they were all surprised. Then later on, this kid explains what happened. It was his brother that was abusing him too much, and at some point, his brother like drilled in his brain that if he spoke to anyone, a bomb in his throat would explode. So he's been traumatized by that, and he never spoke to anyone. After like speaking, he like finally realized that his brother was lying. And at some point in the hospital, all the family members are there, even his brother. And his brother, like everybody, like his family thinks his brother's the sweetest. He puts like a mask in front of them to, but in reality, like the little brother knows he's like a douchebag. At some point, the little brother was going against the older brother now, and the older brother finally showed his true colors. He knew he messed up. Then it was like a happy ending at the end. I don't remember much about the end, but it's such a good book. I really liked it. I give it a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember a lot about what happens to him, but I have very vivid memories of reading this book in grade school. I can't remember what grade. It might have been second, maybe third grade when I was reading this. Or was it fourth grade? It was sort of fourth grade. Cause I think this is like when it was. I think that's when it started really getting popular again, because a lot of people started reading it again around this time when I was little. It's Hatchet. I don't know if anyone remembers this book, but my teacher decided to read this to us one time because we had a little a rug at the front of our classroom where we sat down for like an hour and just read a book or listened to the teacher read us a book to calm us down if we were being too rowdy. So Hatchet was a choice this time. I'm gonna read the explanation of it because it's kind of what I remember happening, but I don't remember the events that I remember one vivid event that happened, so I'll talk about that in a moment. But Hatchet is a survival novel about a 13-year-old boy named Brian Robinson who finds himself completely alone in the Canadian wilderness with only a hatchet as a tool. Gary Paulson was inspired to write Hatchet by his own survival experiments and tendencies. So this is one specific scene in it, or one specific part in it, where so he makes himself cover in this huge hole in a tree, and he kind of made it bigger so he had so he could just get in there, especially at nighttime to sleep or whatever, away from wild animals or whatever, I assume. And I remember him like marking off the days on one of the walls in it.
Really?
That's of how long he's been out there. I think he's out there for, I can't remember, I could be wrong, a year or two.
That's quite impressive.
I can't remember. It might have only been 6 months. I read this. The only time I ever read this book is when the teacher's reading it to us. It's just but this book has always just been in the back of my mind when I think about some of my favorite books, and it's one of my favorites, mostly because it's nostalgia purposes, but it's a good story from what I remember. I want to read it again. I feel easy to get it, so.
You remind me of one other book. Very sad, but so good.
Okay.
Where the Red Fern Grows.
I heard of that. I've never read it.
It's a good book along with the good. There's different versions of the movie. I don't care. Pick it out. Watch it. You will cry, but you will love it at the same time.
I do like an emotional book and
movie. It is so sad, but it is so good. I cried as many times every time I watch it. It's so sad, but man, it's just so good. I'm not gonna tell you it. It's just look at it. Just
okay.
I'm not gonna explain. All I say, it's good. I love it. I recommend to anybody.
I can tell you're smacking your hand on your leg, guys. So with Adam, you can tell if he likes something, he's smacking his hand on his leg. It's one of the many reactions to things.
Well, I guess.
It is.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, I'm gonna give Hatchet a nice 4.5. Well, actually, I made it 4 because I don't remember everything that happens in it, but I remember really enjoying it as a child. So a good 4.
Mine's a 5 and beyond.
5 and beyond for yours with red ferns grow.
Where the red fern grows.
Beautiful. And what's that? That is the that's the episode for you guys today.
This is the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen.
This might be the longest episode we have ever recorded.
Depending if it's gonna be cut down or not, or edited, or sound effect stuff. Woo, yay!
Woo! I'm not good at sound effects, so it'll probably be cut down a little bit, but not a lot. So, yeah. I think anything you want to say before I kind of shut it off, yo?
No, I'm good. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well, in that case, have a good time in hell, guys. Don't forget to stop by the local Hellhound Factory.
The local Hellhound Factory, where you can buy your Hellhound a treat. Some doggy bones, some meat.
Oh yeah, they got a new thing in called Bone Bows. Your dog will love it.
Oh, we should make it into an official website at some point called the Hellhound Stop By. We're not that famous, but it'll be impressive if we did have a website. Wait for it. We'll become famous. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hope you guys had a good day in hell, and I hope the door hits you on your way out.